Alright, today we're officially going to start assembling our homebrew NAS. So what we have is the Menisform AR900i with the Intel 13K or 13900 HX processor. We're going to be putting 64 gigs of RAM. We're going to have two 1 terabyte solid state drives for our VMs, anything that we wish to run in TrueNAS, and of course we'll have a 250 gig M.2 drive that we're going to put in here for the OS. Also include 12 terabyte hard drives. We're going to do a little something different than most people. We're going to run refurbished hard drives in ours just to see how this works out. It's hard not to pass that up for $89 a piece with a warranty, so hopefully that'll all work out. First of all, let's get our RAM popped in. We're using Crucial. It's 4800 mega transfer RAM, so 32 gigs a piece. Let's get all this popped in. We're going to put our two 1 terabyte drives on the top and use the cooler that came with it to cool those, because those will actually be doing a lot of work. The plan is, if all works as hoped, and like many times, we will have a caching. So now these are only Gen 3. The board does support Gen 5, I do believe. I know it does on the PCI slot. I would have much rather a screw here, but I have seen several videos where this is the way they're going. It's those little tabs. So I do believe, if I remember correctly, this goes just like that. Just like so. And our little fan header is here. Now, let's get our screws back. Pause this right now. Alright, so we had to step out and go get the proper screwdrivers. Thought they were in here. Still over tightened. not quite sure how I feel about this or how this is going to work with the case fan, but we're going to see. We may end up pulling these out, or may not use it. I hope. That not sure why they sent so many screws. Probably I don't think there's going to be too much pressure on. Guess depending on how you want to line it up. Well, this is for your 120 millimeter fan. I have been doing a little bit of testing. Now we're going to put our OS drive in. So we're just going to put that on the bottom. And that's what's wonderful about this board. I scoured the internet looking, and I could not find a board that had 4 M.2 slots and within the price point. I mean, Amazon had it on sale, and I believe they still do. I believe I paid $538 for this board with the processor that it has. I mean, you can't find it out there anywhere. There's no place that has all this. So that's the board put together. We'll put our other fan on once we get it in the case and we see how these how well this is going to line out. Because I got a feeling if we put the 120 on top, the 80 millimeter fans that I have for the back to pull out the heat, they're going to hit. I'm 99% sure that's going to be the case. So slide all this. We're going to pause it. So as you may notice, I've kind of cheated. I have been doing some testing as I waited for the replacement parts to come in, because the first build, the first recording did not go very well. Not sure what happened, but we got our 4 first refurbished hard drives in and had everything all put in and looking good, and powered the unit on, and nothing would come on. So I think it ended up being, I'm not sure if it was the power supply or not. You know, it's up in the air. You know, what are the odds of 4 hard drives at the same time frying or coming in bad? I really do believe that the power supply that I had, which was a Cool Master, which you'd see in the introduction video, ended up frying all 4 of the hard drives. Luckily, it didn't mess up the black backplane at all. I don't know how we got lucky on that, but it didn't. But I've been running it for about a week now with no issues. Everything looked good. So let's go ahead and pop in the motherboard. The one thing I got about this whole case, I know it's ultra small form factor. You got out.as, you know, there's never a lot of room. But if you mount it like this and you put everything in its place, like so, this is where your power supply goes. And I really do not like having that with this bracket here and the power supply sitting here. It just, I mean, it would probably be okay. I just don't like the stress that it puts on these cables. So that being said, we're going to pull it to the front like this, out of the way, but still run it underneath, like so. So let's do that. It'll make me feel just a little bit better. So. This is one thing that I haven't used in years are these little contact ground papers, but it come with a board, so we are going to put them on. There we go. That's a little better, guys, isn't it? A little more light. Sorry, this is my first video for YouTube that I've done under this name. So see how this goes. That all lined up. Yep, I haven't used these grounding papers in forever. It was my knowledge that they no longer need them, but they come with this board, so guess what? We're going to use them. Put that for safety's sakes. It's in a bunch. I guess maybe that's just normal to send that many. Oh no, that's not good. Look at that, the follies of. You gotta get that out. You gotta love it. Go in your home. There we go. There's the board. Let's get that out. There we go. Alright, let's do the power supply. So this time around, since the other one did not work, the Cool Master, I have never used that. We were using the Corsair SFX power supply on this guy. It got really good reviews, and it is, I believe, is it 850 or 800? I believe it's 800 if I remember reading right. So given this NAS plenty of power, we're not going to underpower it because we could possibly run them up to 8 hard drives plus 4 M.2s, and this is a big processor, so you know, if we want to do some overclocking, we want to make sure we have plenty of power. Not much packaging difference between the it's a good looking power supply as well. I like it. Looks good. Giving us a warning. Silent and operate in low and moderate loads. In this mode, the fan will not spin. Alright. So we're going to do this a little bit different than our first run. I'm going to put the fan facing to draw air in just like you would in a regular case and push the air out. So this is up, this is down. Let's see. Like this. time for right now. Screws. Screws and zip ties. Damn. We got something backwards. I have to end up taking out something. In the world. That is definitely a lot larger. That or I'm missing something. I always said this was SFX. I guarantee it's something to do with the L. Nice. We got it. Definitely the problem. Well, there's one thing. This board don't have a USB-C hookup for the front I/O. It is missing that. So, we're gonna make this work. We are not giving up on this project. It is not going to win. It has been kicking my butt since day one. And since this is completely removable from this board, we are going to remove it because we don't need it. However, my gaming PC does have that port. Hopefully this will work. I hope with this wall. Slide in place. Fingers crossed. It is not going to go on. It's got to be because this is an L. It's got to be a little bit larger. Looks like the front I/O is coming out all together. That's okay. Still got all the back. Guess that's all that matters. As long as we can power it on. Hasta luego. So we're not going to stop this build for that. For something that we're never going to really use. Because this is a NAS. So, let's see here. And all that. Alright. More screws for that over here. How are we looking there? Oh yeah, we're still with the frame. Guess that is the price you pay. I don't want to void the warranty on this case by cutting that board, or 90% sure that there's no leads. I probably could cut it, trim it up, but since this case is under warranty, we're not going to do that. Just in case we have to send it back for whatever reason. We're not going to cut that up. Alright, that is a little bit bigger power supply. I don't know what the difference is between it, but something I'm assuming with the L. What's the difference here? Straight back. I feel you. Come here. Come here. Come here. to the back plane. It's 4 LED lights on the front. Next, we're going to install our HBA card. You'll remember seeing in the intro these M.2 to SATA. Let's do this. Let's plug them up first. Let's plug up here. You've seen the M.2 to SATA ports or a card that we want to try to use. Oh, during all the testing, I could never get TrueNAS to see them. They may have worked in Windows just fine, and they said they did work with Linux, and I think, what was the other? Linux and some other operating systems. I know it said Windows for sure, but they would not work in TrueNAS like I had hoped. So, I don't like zip tying. I wonder if I got any Velcro. Not with this one. So, another check for Corsair. The Coolmaster, the one thing I did like about it, it did send Velcro instead of zip ties. I hate zip ties in a computer build. There's nothing worse than zip ties in a computer build. Because if something happens, you gotta cut them. Zip ties you can reuse. I mean, zip ties you gotta cut. But Velcro straps you can reuse, so strike against them. Velcro's cheap. Power supply was not cheap. 140 bucks. I think it had a discount on it. So I think it was $129 tax. And you add the tax, so you might as well say it was $140. So HBA is installed. Need a screw or two to hold that down. And they are. All right, let's get our front panel plugged up. God, they made these things so easy. Just match it up. Don't try to force it on if it doesn't go on. It's literally that simple now. All right, now like our CPU power, which will consist of a couple. Put that underneath there. Yeah, just like that. All right. See, I want to tell you, we're going to have to install a fan here to blow across, and then two fans or a fan here, one or the other. Probably here. To blow across, because there's no way the pretty sad about not having that, but all right, let's go power. Let's get this out of here. I should have all our stuff in here first. We have to pull this out of the way for just a moment. Very interesting. So, 24-pin connector. Let's do this one. SATA RAID. Oh, I hope these are long enough. Tell you they're not going to be nowhere near long enough because we've got to go all the way back there, and it is long enough that I pulled from another. Well, guess what? Won't work with that, and there's no proprietary shit. Because we gotta go here to here. And here to here. Then there's just no way. That's all we got left. Why in the holy Mother of God would you? That sucks balls. Have to edit that out. What we're gonna do here. To extend it. Maybe it's charging enough. Come on. ain't gonna be long enough because it's got a long way to travel. Because we gotta go from here to here. We may not be doing this. Just a little upset right at the moment. I don't know if this is going to be long. I mean, it's going to be close. Yeah. Tight fit. This is in far reach. I have no problem with that. Clean along. Back up here. Plenty long. It's this guy. So, maybe we'll get one rail plugged, and we're probably gonna have to buy an extension for all the rest. So, that being said, at least we can get the first four plugged in, and then later on we can, it's almost long enough, I mean, for the, but what we can do is buy an extender and we should be set. Just wish they send it just a little bit longer, we would have more room. It's all not looking too bad. that, let's go ahead and close this end up. We got our fans here. I'll go back. And I'm not sure if this side will work until the other is powered. And I do believe it'll power the first 4 bays. I believe the one's for the first 4 and the others for the second 4. So, that's good. So hopefully that will power the hard drives. Let's pause this. Let's keep going with the build. Got a fresh pot of coffee on. So we're going to use these noctua fans. I bought 3 of them, but I really only think I'm going to end up having to have 2. So there's no way if you put a fan here that you're going to be able to put the fan on. So what we're going to do is we're going to use every fan we can in here. So there's a nice little splitter. That's nice. And they came with standard. I know one of these things before. Keep it. Low noise adapter. No, I've never used one of those, but it's interesting. These fans are supposedly the best fans on the market. So we want this one pulling. I know it's in an arrow, so I'll pull heat out here. Probably should have went with the black ones or gray ones. It would have looked better, but who's going to see this other than me? I don't know how this is going to work. We may have to take these off. We may just have to have one. I don't know. So we don't need the adapter. Put this low noise on. Not sure how that works, but see. There we go. I do like their cases. This is very nice. not big enough. What I can do is just pray to God that this doesn't overheat this way. I just have to keep an eye on the CPU temperature. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to. That's one gripe I got. Just gonna have to monitor the temperature. It's so tight. But maybe, just maybe, these two fans will be enough to keep the heat pulled off. I'm gonna always put one. That's Oscar Man barking at me. What's back here? Tight. I wish they would have made it just a fraction bigger. If you would have made it a fraction bigger and pulled that power supply forward, I think we would have had a lot more room. Or maybe even, I don't know. I just don't know. How can we mount this third one to get some air? I don't think it is too far apart. And it just flop. We really need some way to. I guess let's get the hard drives out. Said I hope that the first four will be powered. So on the side of drives. So they should work. So we're using a HG ST 12 terabyte. Again, these are refurbished, so I know a lot of you are probably going to cringe when I talk about it, but are refurbished drives just as good? I mean, that's a good question to ask. Is it worth taking the chance with your data? You know, any hard drive could fail. Even new ones, I've had them. Had it happen with brand new hard drives. This is one of the other little complaints I had about it. I was very, very unsure about how these straps would hold up. This is your way to pull out the drives. I'm still going to say over time they'll probably break as the plastic gets fragile. But as of right now, I've pulled the test drives in and out 3 or 4 times so far, and they give quite a bit, and then the drives will slide right on out. All right, now we're going to match up SATA port, so the smaller end goes on this side. So about at the bay 1. Send that. Pop it in just like that. Let's move on to our other drives. Well, dadgummit. Get this one in. We're going to take a break and get some coffee. There we go. Let's pause. So, let's continue. I have to start getting supper ready. But that's how they have to run. So that gives us a few more minutes to work on getting the hard drive in. there's all 4 of the drives that we're going to be using. Hopefully the first 4 rails are powered by the first Molex connector, and the last 4 are powered by the second. Pop our case on. There was some fussing that I seen in the reviews about that, but I think it's okay. So there's our completely assembled, I hope to be a powerhouse NAS. I think it's a good looking case. The only complaints I got is the board, the heat sink that they supply with that. I looked at replacing it with a regular cooler. It's not going to happen. It's a special board meant only for that. So the hope is that we will be able to pull enough heat off and across to keep this cool without having to pull the fans off the back. If we do, we'll just chalk that up to a waste and try to use these somewhere else. But I really don't think the distance will, it's too far apart, and then it would be sitting right on top of this fan, which is trying to cool our SSD. So just kind of clean this off. We're going to pause it again.